Welcome back to another gripping tale of betrayal and triumph. In the heart of Boise, Idaho, Nathan Brooks faces the ultimate heartbreak when his wife, Lauren Mitchell, cheats with Jared Langley, nearly costing him everything. Faking his death and rising as James Carter, Nathan weaves a daring plan to protect his daughter Sophie and reclaim his life. From the ashes of a shattered family, Nathan and Sophie rebuild Brooks Bistro into a global empire, fueled by vengeance, love, and an unbreakable bond. Join us for a saga of justice, redemption, and a legacy that rules forever, perfect for fans of cheating wife Reddit and midnight affairs tales. The twilight glow of Boise, Idaho, painted the skyline as Nathan Brooks gripped the wheel of his weathered Chevy Silverado, the hum of a triumphant day still pulsing through him. At 42, Nathan had turned Brooks Bistro, a cozy family restaurant, into a local legend, and tonight's deal to open a second location was his crowning achievement. His phone lit up with a text from his wife of 14 years, Lauren Mitchell, a single smiley face. "Love you," Nathan whispered, picturing her and their 11-year-old daughter Sophie waiting at home. He planned to swing by their favorite bakery for Sophie's favorite cupcakes. Then, a deafening roar. A black SUV barreled across the median, smashing into his truck. Metal twisted, glass shattered, and Nathan's world spun into darkness, his last thought Lauren's laugh at Sophie's school play. Pain yanked Nathan back in the ambulance, his chest a furnace of agony. "Multiple fractures, possible punctured lung, or stat," a paramedic shouted. At St. Alphonsus Regional Medical Center, Dr. Emily Warner's calm voice pierced the chaos. "Mr. Brooks, I'm Dr. Warner. Emergency surgery is critical. Can you hear me?" Nathan's bloodied hand twitched, a faint nod, before anesthesia swallowed him. Hours later, Dr. Warner, her scrub soaked with sweat and blood, dialed Lauren's number. "Mrs. Mitchell, your husband's been in a catastrophic accident. He's stable but critical post-surgery. You need to come now." Lauren's voice was eerily detached. "I'm taking our new rescue dog for a walk. Maybe tomorrow." Dr. Warner's breath caught. "Mrs. Mitchell, he might not survive the night." A long silence. "I'll figure it out," Lauren said, and the line went dead. Dr. Warner, shaken, called Nathan's parents, William and Clara Brooks, in Twin Falls. William's voice cracked. "An accident? Did Lauren know?" "Yes," Dr. Warner said, "but she's occupied." Clara's voice cut in, cold. "If Lauren's not going, we've got things to handle. We'll try later." Dr. Warner stared at the phone, her 15 years in trauma medicine rattled by their callousness. For 4 days, Nathan lingered in the ICU, monitors beeping in rhythm with his shallow breaths, tubes anchoring his broken body. On day 5, his eyes fluttered open, voice a hoarse rasp. "Where am I?" Dr. Warner adjusted his IV. "St. Alphonsus, Mr. Brooks. 5 days since the crash. You're lucky to be alive." Nathan's gaze, clouded with pain, sharpened. "Lauren? Sophie? My parents?" Dr. Warner's pause was a blade. "We reached them. No one's come." Nathan's green eyes fractured, a spark of warmth snuffed out, replaced by a chilling void. "I understand," he murmured, each word heavy with betrayal. "I need a phone." Dr. Warner hesitated, then handed him her secure line. Nathan dialed his oldest friend, Ethan Caldwell, the bistro's operations manager. "Ethan, it's Nathan. Don't tell a soul. I need you to dig into something." His voice, frail but firm, carried a dangerous undertone. By day 7, Nathan could prop himself up, each movement a stab of pain through his ribs and spine. Rachel Kessler, a steely Boise attorney, arrived with a tablet and a knowing look. "Mr. Brooks, Ethan briefed me. What's the plan?" Nathan's stare was iron. "Proof. Lauren, my parents, and whoever else is involved. Every detail." Rachel's pen paused, sensing a man on the edge of a reckoning. That evening, Nathan requested a legal pad. Dr. Warner brought it, finding him gazing at Boise's city lights, his face a mask of quiet fury. "Thank you, Dr. Warner," he said, voice low. "You cared when no one else did. That means something." She swallowed. "I wish your family had come." Nathan's jaw tightened, a ghost of a smirk. They'll show up. When it's far too late. As the hospital quieted, Nathan wrote. A letter, each stroke of his pen deliberate, carving a message meant to burn. At 4 a.m. on day 8, a nurse found his bed empty, blankets neatly folded. On the pillow sat a sealed envelope, addressed to Lauren, William, and Clara. Dr. Warner, called to the scene, felt a chill. Nathan Brooks had vanished, but the envelope was a promise of chaos to come. Security footage showed him limping out a side exit, a shadow slipping into the Boise dawn, leaving behind a life he'd never reclaim. Lauren Mitchell's laughter echoed through the dimly lit patio of the Riverside Lounge, a trendy Boise bar overlooking the Boise River. She sipped a martini, her auburn hair catching the fairy lights, as Jared Langley, a charismatic real estate investor, leaned closer, his hand brushing hers. For 6 months, Lauren had been living a double life, splitting her time between her suburban Boise home with Nathan Brooks and Sophie and Jared's sleek downtown condo. While Nathan poured his soul into Brooks Bistro, working late to secure the second location, Lauren and Jared plotted to seize his empire. When Nathan's gone, Jared whispered, refilling her glass, we get it all. The bistro, the house, the $4 million life insurance. Lauren smirked. And if he survives, we push the divorce. My lawyer's ready. Jared's eyes gleamed. Your daughter's no problem, right? Sophie's too young to understand. Lauren's smile faltered, but she nodded. I've told her Nathan's too busy for her. She's already distant. What Lauren didn't know was Jared's own plan. Once Nathan S. wealth was hers, he'd siphon it to offshore accounts in his name alone, leaving her with nothing. Across town, William and Clara Brooks sat in their Twin Falls living room, poring over falsified bank statements Jared had accidentally left during a visit. The documents painted Nathan as hoarding millions, cutting his parents out of his success. After all we gave up for him, Clara hissed. He's hiding money. William nodded, fury in his eyes. Lauren had fed them lies over Sunday brunches, claiming Nathan refused to fund their retirement. In truth, Nathan had set up a $2 million trust for them, a surprise for their 40th anniversary, now at risk of being forgotten. Meanwhile, Ethan Caldwell sat in his cramped Boise apartment, his laptop glowing with hospital records he shouldn't have accessed. As Nathan's childhood friend and bistro operations manager, Ethan had hacked into St. Alphonsus's database to track Nathan's condition. What are you doing, Nate? He muttered, seeing Nathan had checked out against medical advice. His phone buzzed, an unknown number. Meet me, Storage Unit 312, Boise Self-Storage. Code, Sophie's birthday, 14, alone, N. Ethan grabbed his jacket, heart racing. At the storage facility, Unit 312 held a locked box and a burner phone. Inside the box, photos of Lauren and Jared at the Riverside dating back a year, recordings of their affair, and fake documents shown to William and Clara. The burner rang. Ethan, it's me. Nathan's voice rasped, hollow but resolute. They left me to die. Jesus, Nate, where are you? You need a hospital, Ethan pleaded. Nathan ignored him. 3 things. 1. I'm a ghost. Nobody knows I'm alive. 2. Pull every financial record from the bistro's second location deal, contracts, payments, signatures. 3. Get this to Rachel Kessler. She's waiting. Ethan gripped the phone. What's the end game? A pause. Justice, Ethan. Nothing else. The line cut off. Ethan stared at the evidence, a knot in his stomach. Nathan wasn't just hurt. He was a man reborn in vengeance. Back at St. Alphonsus, Dr. Emily Warner received an anonymous package, a letter thanking her for saving Nathan, paired with a $50,000 donation to the trauma ward, signed, A Friend. A note read, Some debts are repaid with kindness, others with truth. A week after Nathan's disappearance, Lauren finally appeared at St. Alphonsus, her face a mask of feigned concern, Jared posing as a family friend, and William and Clara trailing behind. I'm here for my husband, Nathan Brooks, Lauren told the receptionist, her voice trembling just enough. Dr. Warner emerged, her eyes cold. Mrs. Mitchell, you're a week late. Your husband left yesterday against my advice." Lauren's shock was real. Left? He was dying. Dr. Warner's voice was ice. He was alive enough to walk out. He left this. She handed Lauren an envelope. Inside, a single page. "I know your secrets. I forgive nothing. Your time is coming." Lauren's hands shook. Jared snatched it, his face paling. "He's bluffing," he hissed, but his voice wavered. William and Clara exchanged uneasy glances, guilt flickering. At that moment, Detective Lisa Monroe, a Boise PD veteran, reviewed traffic cam footage of Nathan's crash. The SUV had tailed him for days, its plates linked to a shell company tied to Jared. Lauren's phone records showed calls to the driver hours before the crash. "This wasn't an accident," Monroe muttered, dialing her team. Across town, Nathan watched from a nondescript sedan, Ethan beside him. A tablet showed live footage from a hidden camera in Jared's condo, capturing Lauren and Jared arguing. "It started," Nathan said, his bruised face unreadable. Ethan shifted. "Nate, this is dark. You sure?" Nathan's eyes were stone. "They took my life, Ethan. Now I take theirs." He started the engine, driving into the Boise night, a predator unleashed. The fluorescent lights of St. Alphonsus Regional Medical Center buzzed as Lauren Mitchell clutched Nathan Brooks's envelope, her manicured nails digging into the paper. Her face, pale beneath her makeup, betrayed a flicker of fear as Jared Langley paced the hospital waiting room, his polished charm unraveling. "He's alive, Lauren! How the hell did he walk out?" he snapped, his voice low but sharp. William and Clara Brooks sat stiffly nearby, their eyes darting between Lauren and the envelope, guilt gnawing at their silence. Lauren tore it open again, rereading Nathan's words. "I know your secrets. I forgive nothing. Your time is coming." "He's playing us," she whispered, but her trembling hands told another story. Jared grabbed her arm, pulling her aside. "We need to find him. Now. If he talks, we're done." Outside, Boise's autumn chill wrapped around Detective Lisa Monroe as she stood by her unmarked cruiser, reviewing her notebook. Traffic cam footage confirmed the black SUV that hit Nathan had stalked him for a week. Its driver, a lowlife named Vince Carver, tied to Jared's shell company Langley Properties. Lauren's phone records showed a 15-minute call to Carver the night before the crash. "Attempted murder," Monroe muttered, her breath visible in the dusk. She'd pulled Carver's rap sheet, DUIs, assault, and now a hit and run. Her partner, Officer Derek Hale, approached. "Carver's in the wind, but we got a warrant for his phone. Lauren's neck deep in this." Monroe nodded, her gut screaming this was bigger than a cheating wife. "Get a tail on Jared Langley. He's no bystander." Across town, Nathan Brooks hunched in a dingy motel room off Chinden Boulevard, the flicker of a neon sign casting shadows on his bruised face. Ethan Caldwell sat across from him, a laptop open to footage from Jared's condo. Lauren and Jared's argument played on a loop. "He knows, Jared. What if he goes to the cops?" Nathan's jaw clenched, his green eyes hollow. "They're scared," he said, voice a low growl. Ethan shifted uneasily. "Nate, this is next level. You've got enough to bury them. Why not go to the police?" Nathan's stare was ice. "Because they don't just get to lose. They need to feel it." He handed Ethan a flash drive. "Bank records. Jared's been skimming from his investors. Get it to Rachel Kessler. She'll know what to do." Rachel Kessler, in her downtown Boise office, pored over the evidence Ethan delivered. Photos, recordings, and now Jared's financials. A text from an unknown number, Nathan, lit up her phone. "Push Langley Properties. Leak to investors. Don't trace this." Rachel's fingers hovered over her keyboard. She'd seen clients seek revenge, but Nathan was different, a man dismantling his betrayers with surgical precision. She forwarded the financials to a contact at the Idaho Statesman, anonymized with a note. "Langley Properties Cooking Books. Investors beware." By morning, whispers of Jared's fraud began rippling through Boise's business scene, his phone buzzing with furious clients. Back at the motel, Nathan opened a worn leather wallet, pulling out a creased photo of Sophie at her school play, her smile a dagger in his chest. Lauren's lies, telling Sophie he was too busy, cut deeper than the crash. A burner phone rang. "Mr. Brooks, it's Dr. Emily Warner," came the voice. Nathan stiffened. "How'd you get this number?" "Your donation had a return address. I'm worried. You left too soon. Your injuries." Nathan cut her off. "I'm fine. Keep Sophie safe. Lauren's not what she seems." He hung up, his mind racing. Sophie was still in that house, under Lauren's influence. He turned to Ethan. "I need eyes on Sophie. School, home, everywhere." Ethan nodded, uneasy but loyal. At Lauren's suburban home, she packed a bag, her movements frantic. Jared stood in the doorway, eyes wild. "We leave tonight. Mexico. I've got cash." Lauren froze. "What about Sophie?" Jared scoffed. "She's a kid. She'll be fine with your parents." Lauren hesitated, then nodded, her maternal instinct buried under panic. Upstairs, Sophie, unnoticed, overheard, her small hands trembling as she clutched her phone. She texted her friend's mom. "Mom's acting weird. I'm scared." Meanwhile, William and Clara received a second envelope at their Twin Falls home, postmarked Boise. Inside, a USB drive and a note. "You believed her lies. Listen." The drive held recordings of Lauren admitting she turned them against Nathan for Jared as plan. Clara's face crumpled, shame washing over her. Detective Monroe's team traced Carver's phone to a dive bar in Nampa. They stormed in, cuffing him as he cursed. "It was just a job," he spat. "Langley paid me." Monroe leaned in. "And Lauren Mitchell?" Carver's eyes darted. "She set the time." Back in Boise, Nathan watched Jared's condo feed as Lauren and Jared prepared to flee. He leaned forward, a predator's calm. "They think they can run," he said to Ethan. "They're wrong." He typed a command on his laptop, sending an anonymous tip to Monroe's precinct. "Langley and Mitchell fleeing. Check Boise Airport." The trap was tightening, and Nathan Brooks, a ghost in his own life, was pulling every string. The Boise airport hummed with late-night travelers as Lauren Mitchell and Jared Langley rushed through the terminal, their faces taut with panic. Lauren's designer heels clicked frantically, her suitcase stuffed with cash and fake passports Jared had secured through his shadier contacts. "We're clear," Jared muttered, glancing at the departure board. "Mexico City, 11:45 p.m. But as they approached security, two Boise PD officers stepped forward, flanked by Detective Lisa Monroe. "Lauren Mitchell, Jared Langley, you're under arrest for conspiracy to commit murder," Monroe said, her voice steel. Lauren's bag slipped from her hand, cash spilling across the floor. Jared lunged for the exit, but Officer Derek Hale tackled him, cuffs snapping shut. Lauren's scream echoed, "This is a mistake!" But Monroe's eyes were unforgiving. "Tell it to the judge." In a nondescript office above a Boise strip mall, Nathan Brooks, now James Carter per a forged ID, watched the airport arrest on a grainy live feed, courtesy of Ethan Caldwell's hacked security cams. His face, still bruised from the crash, was unrecognizable. Cropped hair, a trimmed beard, and a cold intensity in his green eyes. "They're done," Nathan said, voice flat. Ethan, hunched over his laptop, shook his head. "Nate, James, whatever. You got them. Why keep going?" Nathan's gaze didn't waver. "Because Sophie's still in that house, and they're not the only ones who betrayed me." He slid a folder to Ethan. Bank records showing William and Clara Brooks had quietly withdrawn $200,000 from Nathan A.S. Trust Fund after Lauren A.S. lies. "My parents get their turn." Rachel Kessler's office was a fortress of files as she met with a private investigator, Mia Torres, hired to protect Sophie. At Boise PD, Monroe interrogated Jared, his smug facade crumbling. "Vince Carver sang," she said, tossing photos of the SUV crash. "You paid him $50,000 to kill Nathan. Lauren set the time." Jared's eyes darted. "I want a deal." Monroe leaned in. "Then give me Lauren's role, and your shell companies." Across the hall, Lauren sobbed to her lawyer, claiming ignorance, but her phone's deleted texts, recovered by Monroe as texts, showed her directing Carver, "Make it quick. Night's best." Monroe's case was airtight, but she sensed Nathan's shadow behind it all. An anonymous USB had arrived at her desk, detailing Jared's fraud and Lauren's lies, with a note: "Justice, not mercy." In Twin Falls, William and Clara Brooks sat in their dimly lit kitchen, the USB from Nathan A.'s second envelope playing Lauren A.'s voice. "Nathan A.'s cutting you out. Jared's our way in." William's hands shook, guilt choking him. "We believed her," he whispered. Clara, tears streaming, clutched a photo of Nathan as a boy. "We failed him." A knock startled them. Ethan, posing as a courier, delivered a third envelope. Inside, a letter. "You chose her lies over me. Return the $200,000, or the world knows." Attached were their bank statements, circled in red. Clara collapsed, sobbing, as William dialed their lawyer, desperate to make amends. Sophie, at a friend's house after Lauren's arrest, sat on a porch swing, her phone buzzing with a blocked number. Hesitant, she answered. "Sophie, it's Dad," Nathan's voice said, soft but strained. "You're safe now." Sophie's eyes welled. "Mom said you didn't care." Nathan's heart broke. "I never stopped. Stay with Emily's mom. I'll come for you soon." He hung up, his chest tight, and turned to Ethan in the office. "Get me into Boise Middle's security system. I need to see her." Ethan hesitated. "Nate, you're a ghost. If they spot you..." Nathan's stare was steel. "She's my daughter." Back at the airport, news crews swarmed as Lauren and Jared were led out in cuffs, headlines screaming, "Boise couple in murder plot." Jared's investors, tipped by Rachel's leak, filed lawsuits, gutting Langley properties. Nathan watched the broadcast, his new ID in hand. James Carter had a bank account, a rented apartment, and a mission. He typed a final command, sending Monroe's precinct another tip: "Check Lauren's lawyer. He's dirty." The lawyer, tied to Jared's shell companies, was arrested hours later. Nathan leaned back, the city's lights flickering outside. "One more move," he said to Ethan, his voice ablade. "Then I'm done." But his eyes, fixed on Sophie's photo, told a different story. A father's fight was far from over. The Ada County Courthouse in Boise stood stark against a gray November sky, its marble halls echoing with the weight of justice. Inside, Lauren Mitchell sat in the defendant's chair, her once vibrant auburn hair dulled, her eyes hollow as the prosecutor laid out her crimes: conspiracy to commit murder, fraud, and child endangerment. Jared Langley, in a separate trial room, faced identical charges, his charm extinguished under the glare of evidence. Detective Lisa Monroe's testimony was damning. Vince Carver's confession, Lauren's recovered texts, and Jared S. Shell Company records painted a meticulous plot to kill Nathan Brooks for his $4 million insurance. The gallery stirred as Rachel Kessler, Nathan's attorney, entered, her presence a quiet signal that someone was pulling strings from the shadows. Nathan Brooks, as James Carter, watched from a back row, his forged ID granting him anonymity. His cropped hair and bearded face blended with the crowd, but his green eyes burned with purpose. Ethan Caldwell sat beside him, tense. "You sure about this, Nate? Showing up here's risky." Nathan's voice was low. "I need to see them fall. For Sophie." The judge's gavel cracked, and Lauren's lawyer pleaded for leniency, citing her devotion to Sophie. Rachel rose, her voice cutting. "Devotion? Mrs. Mitchell planned to ship her daughter to a boarding school to cover her crimes." She presented the injunction, exposing Lauren's neglect. The jury's faces hardened. Across town, Sophie Brooks sat in the counselor's office at Boise Middle School, her friend's mother, Emily Carter, by her side. Dr. Emily Warner had arranged for Sophie to stay with Emily's family per Nathan's request. Sophie clutched a drawing of her and Nathan at Brooks's Bistro, her small voice trembling. "Will Dad come back?" Emily squeezed her hand. "He will, sweetheart. He's fighting for you." Unbeknownst to Sophie, Mia Torres, the private investigator, monitored the school's perimeter, ensuring no one tied to Lauren or Jared approached. A burner phone in Sophie's backpack buzzed with a text. "I'm close, kiddo. Love, Dad." Sophie's eyes lit up, hope flickering. In Twin Falls, William and Clara Brooks stood in their living room, a certified check for $200,000 on the table, their repayment to Nathan's trust fund. Clara's hands trembled as she signed a letter. "We were wrong, Nathan. We'll make it right." William, his face etched with regret, drove to Boise, delivering the check to Rachel's office. "Tell him we're sorry," he told Rachel, voice breaking. Rachel nodded, knowing Nathan's forgiveness was a distant prospect. She forwarded the check to Nathan's secret account, texting his burner, "Your parents paid. They want to see you." Nathan's reply was curt, "Not yet." Back at the courthouse, Jared's trial unraveled as investors testified about his fraud, their lawsuits having bankrupted Langley Properties. Vince Carver, in a plea deal, detailed Jared's $50,000 payment for the hit and run, implicating Lauren as the mastermind. Jared, desperate, turned on Lauren, shouting, "She pushed me to do it!" The judge silenced him, but the damage was done. Lauren's verdict came first, guilty on all counts, 25 years without parole. Her sob echoed as she was led away, her gaze catching a bearded man in the back. Nathan. Recognition flashed, but he was gone before she could speak. Jared's guilty verdict followed, 30 years. That evening, Nathan parked a rented SUV outside Emily Carter's suburban home, his heart pounding. Sophie ran out, spotting the familiar figure despite his disguise. "Dad!" she cried, throwing her arms around him. Nathan held her, tears burning his eyes. "I'm here, Sophie. Always." Emily Carter watched from the porch, smiling as Dr. Warner joined her, relieved. Ethan in the passenger seat exhaled. "You did it, man." Nathan shook his head. "Not without you, or Rachel." He handed Ethan a key to Brooks' Bistro. "Run it till I'm back. I'm taking Sophie somewhere safe." At Boise PD, Monroe filed the case's final report, the anonymous USB drive on her desk a lingering mystery. A last note arrived. The truth won. Protect her. Monroe knew it meant Sophie and suspected Nathan, but she let the ghost fade. Nathan, now legally James Carter, drove Sophie toward a quiet Idaho town, a new life ahead. He glanced at her, asleep, clutching her drawing. The road stretched into the night, and for the first time, Nathan felt the weight of vengeance lift, replaced by a father's resolve to rebuild. William and Clara, left to their guilt, awaited a chance to earn his trust, their redemption a fragile hope in Boise's fading light. The small town of Sandpoint, Idaho, nestled against Lake Pendorail, glowed under a crisp spring sunrise. Nathan Brooks, still James Carter to the world, stood on the porch of a modest log cabin, watching Sophie Brooks skip toward her new school, Sandpoint Middle, her backpack bouncing. Her laughter, a sound Nathan feared he'd lost, warmed the morning air. Inside, a framed drawing of them at Brooks Bistro hung above the fireplace, a reminder of their past and promise of their future. Nathan sipped coffee, his bearded face softer but his green eyes vigilant. "Stay safe, kiddo," he whispered, waving as Sophie disappeared around the corner. In Boise, Brooks Bistro hummed with lunchtime chatter, its second location now open under Ethan Caldwell's steady hand. Ethan, juggling orders and staff, felt Nathan's absence, but honored his trust. A letter arrived at the bistro, postmarked Twin Falls, from William and Clara Brooks. "Nathan, we've sold our house to fund the bistro's expansion. Let us see you and Sophie, please." Ethan sighed, forwarding it to Nathan's burner phone. Nathan read it in Sandpoint, his jaw tight. "They're trying," he told Rachel Kessler over a secure call. Rachel, in her Boise office, urged caution. "They're genuine, but your call. Sophie's your priority." Nathan nodded, pocketing the phone, not ready to bridge that gap. Sophie, at Sandpoint Middle, thrived, her grades climbing and friends multiplying. But at recess she clutched Nathan's old watch, found in her backpack, its cracked face a relic of his crash. "I miss Boise," she told her teacher, Miss Harper Lane, a kind-eyed local. Harper, sensing Sophie's weight, alerted Dr. Emily Warner, who visited Sandpoint weekly to check on Sophie. "She's healing," Warner told Nathan at the cabin, "but she needs you present, not a ghost." Nathan's chest tightened. He'd kept James Carter to shield Sophie, but it distanced him too. That night, he cooked her favorite, bistro-style mac and cheese, and promised, "No more hiding, Soph. Just us." Back in Boise, Detective Lisa Monroe closed the Brooks case file. But a news report caught her eye. Lauren Mitchell from prison had filed an appeal, claiming coercion by Jared Langley. Jared, in a separate facility, countered with his own appeal, alleging Lauren's manipulation. Monroe scoffed, knowing their sentences, 25 and 30 years, were ironclad, thanks to her evidence and Nathan's anonymous tips. She mailed a note to Emily Carter's home, where Sophie had stayed. "Sophie's safe. Case closed. LM." Emily smiled, tucking it away for Sophie's future. William and Clara Brooks, now in a modest Boise apartment, attended a bistro reopening event, hoping to glimpse Nathan. Ethan greeted them, hesitant but kind. "He's not here, but he knows you're trying," Ethan said, handing them a photo of Sophie smiling in Sandpoint, sent by Nathan. Clara clutched it, tears falling. "We'll wait," William said, voice firm. They donated their house sales remainder, $300,000, to a scholarship in Sophie's name, a quiet plea for redemption. Rachel, overseeing the fund, texted Nathan, "They're serious, scholarships live." Nathan in Sandpoint stared at the message, a flicker of softening in his eyes. At the cabin, Sophie burst in, waving a school award for a story about a hero dad. Nathan read it, her words, "He fought the bad guys and never gave up," piercing his heart. "You're my hero, Dad," she said, hugging him. Nathan's throat caught, tears spilling. "You're mine, kiddo." That evening, Mia Torres, still on retainer, reported no threats in Sandpoint, allowing Nathan to ease his vigilance. He called Ethan, voice steady. "I'm coming back, Ethan. Reopen the original bistro. Sophie and I will run it." Ethan grinned. "About time, man." As summer neared, Nathan and Sophie drove to Boise for the bistro's grand reopening. The sign gleamed, Brooks Bistro, family-owned, and locals packed the patio. Sophie served lemonade, giggling with Ethan while Nathan worked the grill, his James Carter ID retired. William and Clara arrived, nervous, standing at the edge. Nathan met their eyes, pausing. Sophie ran to them, hugging Clara. "Grandma, Grandpa!" Nathan approached, voice low. "One step at a time." Clara nodded, sobbing as William gripped his hand. The bistro's lights twinkled, Sandpoint's peace in their hearts, and Nathan felt a new dawn rise, a life reclaimed, a family mending, in Boise's warm embrace. Boise's autumn sun cast a golden glow over Brooks's bistro, its patio bustling with families and locals, the family-owned sign a beacon of resilience. Nathan Brooks, no longer hiding as James Carter, flipped burgers at the grill, his sleeves rolled up, a quiet pride in his eyes. Sophie Brooks, now a confident teenager, wove through tables, serving milkshakes with a smile that lit the place. The bistro, now a chain with a third location in Sandpoint, thrived under Nathan's vision, its menu featuring Sophie's idea, a hero dad burger, a nod to her award-winning story. Inside, a wall of photos, Sophie's school play, Nathan's reopening, William and Clara's visits, told a story of healing. In Sandpoint, Sophie's high school, Sandpoint High, buzzed with homecoming prep. Sophie, a sophomore, led the art club, her murals decorating the gym. At a parent-teacher conference, Harper Lane, now her advisor, praised her. "She's a leader, Nathan. She's come so far." Nathan nodded, his heart full, but his eyes flicked to his phone. A text from Rachel Kessler. Lauren's appeal denied. Jared's too. They're done. Nathan exhaled, the final weight of their betrayal lifting. He glanced at Sophie, laughing with friends, and knew she was his legacy, not vengeance. William and Clara Brooks, now regulars at the Boise Bistro, had rebuilt their bond with Nathan and Sophie. Their $300,000 scholarship fund, named Sophie's Future, had awarded its first grants, helping local kids attend college. At a bistro charity event, Clara, her face softer, handed Nathan a leather-bound journal. "Your mother's recipes," she said, voice trembling. "We found them in storage. For the bistro." Nathan opened it, his late mother's handwriting a bridge to his past. He hugged Clara, whispering, "Thank you, Mom." William, eyes misty, joined, and Sophie snapped a photo, pinning it to the bistro's wall. Their redemption, once fragile, was now unshakable. In Boise, Detective Lisa Monroe attended the bistro's event, her presence a quiet nod to Nathan's journey. She'd received a final anonymous note. "The bistro stands. Thank you." Monroe smiled, suspecting Nathan, and raised a glass to Ethan Caldwell, who'd expanded the bistro's catering arm. Ethan, now a partner, toasted back. To Nathan, the guy who never quit. Rachel Kessler, overseeing the scholarship fund, joined, her sharp eyes catching Nathan's. "You built something real," she said. Nathan shrugged, but his grip on Sophie's shoulder tightened, grounding him. At Sandpoint's community center, Sophie organized a fundraiser for the scholarship, her speech echoing her story. "My dad taught me trust is earned, not given." The crowd, Dr. Emily Warner, Emily Carter, Mia Torres, and Sandpoint locals, cheered. Nathan, in the back, fought tears, pride swelling. Later, he found Sophie by Lake Pend Oreille, sketching the sunset. "I'm proud of you, Soph," he said, handing her a bistro key. "Partner when you're ready." Sophie hugged him, whispering, "I learned from you, Dad." Back in Boise, news broke. Lauren Mitchell's appeal, her last bid for freedom, collapsed when new evidence, texts recovered by Monroe's team, proved her lies. Jared Langley's appeal failed too, his investors seizing his remaining assets. From prison, Lauren saw a bistro ad in a newspaper, Sophie's face beaming. She crumpled it, her defeat absolute. Jared, in his cell, heard of the bistro's success, his schemes dust. Their shadows once looming were now footnotes in Nathan's triumph. As winter neared, Nathan stood at the Boise bistro, Sophie by his side, unveiling a new sign. Brooks Bistro. Legacy of trust. The crowd, William, Clara, Ethan, Rachel, Monroe, and more, applauded. Sophie leaned into Nathan, whispering, "We did it, Dad." Nathan kissed her forehead. The scars of betrayal faded, replaced by a descent of love and trust. The bistro's lights glowed, a beacon in Boise's heart, promising a future built on truth, family, and a father's unbreakable resolve. The University of Idaho's Moscow campus buzzed with fall energy as Sophie Brooks, now a 20-year-old junior, hurried across the quad, her art portfolio tucked under her arm. Her mural, a vibrant tribute to Boise's community spirit, had just won a university award, earning her a scholarship top-up from the Sophie's Future Fund, now a regional beacon. Back in Boise, Nathan Brooks stood in the original Brooks Bistro, now the heart of a 5-location chain spanning Idaho. The legacy of trust sign gleamed, and Nathan, his hair flecked with gray, surveyed the packed patio with quiet pride. Sophie's latest mural, a father and daughter grilling under a Boise sunset, hung inside, a testament to their unbreakable bond. In Sandpoint, William and Clara Brooks, now in their late 60s, hosted a Sophie's Future fundraiser at the Lakefront Community Center. Clara, her hands steadier, presented a $50,000 check to a Sandpoint student, her eyes shining with purpose. William, stronger after a health scare, spoke to the crowd. "This is for our granddaughter Sophie, and second chances." Nathan, attending via video call, felt a pang of gratitude. After years of steady effort, weekly calls, bistro visits, and Clara's recipe contributions, their reconciliation was complete. Nathan flew to Sandpoint that weekend, embracing them at the cabin. "Your family," he said, voice thick. Sophie, home from Moscow, snapped a photo, her heart full. Brooks Bistro had become an Idaho institution, with Ethan Caldwell overseeing the Sandpoint and Coeur d'Alene locations. At a Boise staff party, Ethan, now married with a newborn, toasted Nathan. "You built an empire, man." Nathan laughed, handing him a new contract. Co-owner. Rachel Kessler, still managing legal affairs, smiled nearby, her work on the scholarship fund now a passion project. Dr. Emily Warner, a bistro regular, brought Sophie's old drawings to the party, sparking laughter. Harper Lane, visiting from Sandpoint, gifted Sophie a sketchbook, whispering, "Keep creating." Emily Carter, Sophie's Boise host years ago, joined, her presence a reminder of their village. In Boise, Detective Lisa Monroe, now a captain, read a prison report. Lauren Mitchell, aged in her cell, had withdrawn her final appeal. Her spirit broken after a failed letter to Sophie was returned unopened. Jared Langley, his assets gone, faced a disciplinary hearing for prison misconduct, his influence erased. Monroe visited the bistro, leaving a note for Nathan. Their echoes are gone. Your legacy endures. Nathan read it, nodding, the past a faint scar. He framed Monroe's old case-closed note beside Sophie's mural, a quiet closure. At Moscow, Sophie faced a challenge. A professor doubted her mural's authenticity, citing her troubled past. Sophie, steel in her eyes, presented her portfolio and story at a campus hearing, winning unanimous support. After they walked Moscow's Arboretum, Sophie clutching his arm. I'm okay, Dad. Because of you. Boise's Winter Festival saw Brooks Bistro host a community feast, the patio glowing with lights. Sophie, home for break, led a mural workshop teaching kids to paint. William and Clara served hot cocoa, their laughter mingling with Ethan's. Rachel and Monroe chatted. Mia Torres kept a discreet watch, and Emily Warner danced with Emily Carter. Nathan grilled, watching Sophie shine. A new mural unveiled, Enduring Bonds, showing Boise's skyline and a family united. The crowd cheered and Sophie whispered, "This is us, Dad." Nathan squeezed her hand, the bistro's warmth a fortress against faded echoes of betrayal, their bonds eternal in Idaho's heart. Boise's spring breeze carried the scent of blooming lilacs as Sophie Brooks, now 25, stood at the helm of Brooks Bistro's Boise flagship, unveiling its 6th location in Portland, Oregon. Her poised speech, broadcast to all branches, announced a new Forever Forward initiative, sustainable sourcing and community grants. The patio roared with applause, Sophie's mural, Enduring Bonds, gleaming behind her. Nathan Brooks, 50, watched from the crowd, his gray hair catching the sun, a proud smile creasing his face. Retired from daily operations, he'd passed the reins to Sophie, now CEO, while he consulted part-time, savoring a quieter life in Sandpoint. In Sandpoint, William and Clara Brooks, now in their 70s, lived in a cozy retirement home overlooking Lake Pend Their Sophie's Future Fund, now worth $1 million, had transformed lives, its latest grant launching a Boise youth art program. At a lakeside ceremony, Clara, frail but radiant, pinned a medal on Sophie for her leadership. "You're our legacy," she whispered, tears falling. William, leaning on a cane, added, "We're proud, Sophie." Nathan beside them squeezed their shoulders, their bond a fortress forged through years of amends. Sophie framed their photo beside her mural, a tribute to their enduring descent. Brooks Bistro thrived under Sophie's vision, with Ethan Caldwell, co-owner, managing expansion. At a Portland opening, Ethan, his toddler on his shoulders, credited Sophie. "She's the heart of this." Rachel Kessler, now a Bistro board member, finalized a deal for a 7th location, her legal finesse unshaken. Dr. Emily Warner, a fund advisor, hosted a Moscow art exhibit featuring Sophie's college murals, drawing crowds. Harper Lane, Sophie's mentor, sent a video message, "You've outshone us all." Emily Carter, a Boise councilwoman, cut the Portland ribbon, tying their past to this triumph. Mia Torres, retired but present, clapped quietly, her vigilance no longer needed. In Boise, Captain Lisa Monroe, nearing retirement, reviewed a faded file. Lauren Mitchell, now a ghost in prison, had ceased all contact, her name absent from records. Jared Langley, released early but broken, worked a menial job in obscurity, his schemes forgotten. Monroe mailed Nathan a final note. "The past is dust. Your future shines." Nathan read it at his Sandpoint cabin, the lake's calm mirroring his peace. He placed Monroe's notes in a box with Sophie's old drawings, closing that chapter forever. Sophie faced a crisis. A Portland supplier threatened to derail her sustainability plan, citing costs. At a tense board meeting, she channeled Nathan's resolve, negotiating a compromise that saved the initiative. Nathan, watching via video, texted her, "You're tougher than me, kiddo. Sophie smiled, her pendant, partner, gleaming. Later, at Moscow's campus, she spoke at a Sophie's Future gala. Her words, "We rise by lifting others," echoing Nathan's lessons. The crowd, including Warner and Carter, stood, moved. Nathan in the back whispered to Ethan, "She's the future." Boise's summer festival marked Brooks Bistro's 30th anniversary, the flagship aglow with lanterns. Sophie unveiled a mural, "Forever Forward, a horizon of cities linked by bistro lights." Nathan, grilling one last time, passed the tongs to Sophie, who led a toast. To family, trust, and tomorrow. William and Clara, arm in arm, beamed. Ethan raised his daughter's cup, and Rachel nodded. Monroe, Warner, Lane, Carter, and Torres joined, the community a tapestry of love. Sophie hugged Nathan, whispering, "Thank you, Dad." Nathan kissed her cheek, the bistro's glow a vow to Vuan Mai, their legacy unyielding, Lauren's and Jared's echoes lost in Idaho's endless sky. Boise's autumn twilight bathed Brooks Bistro in amber as Sophie Brooks, now 30, stood on a stage at the flagship, announcing the opening of its first international location in Vancouver, Canada. Her Eternal Flame initiative, global art grants, and eco-friendly bistros drew cheers from a crowd spanning Idaho to Vancouver, live-streamed worldwide. Sophie's mural, "Forever Forward," glowed behind her, its city lights now joined by a starlit flame. Nathan Brooks, 55, watched from Sandpoint's lakefront bistro via screen, his eyes misty. As Sophie's mentor, he'd guided her through a final crisis, his cabin a haven of wisdom. "You've outdone me, Soph," he whispered, heart full. In Sandpoint, a quiet ceremony marked the passing of William and Clara Brooks, who'd died peacefully months apart at 73 and 71. Their final letter, read by Sophie at Lake Pandorail, gifted their estate to the Sophie's Future Fund, now $2 million, fueling art and education globally. "We love you, Sophie." Nathan, Clara's words echoed. Sophie, tears falling, scattered their ashes by the lake, Nathan's arm around her. A plaque at the bistro read, "William and Clara Brooks, founders of hope." Their legacy, once fractured, now burned eternal, a flame of redemption. Brooks Bistro, with 8 locations, was a global name, Ethan Caldwell steering Vancouver's launch. At a Boise gala, Ethan, his daughter now 10, toasted Sophie, "You're our flame." Rachel Kessler, board chair, signed a deal for a Tokyo bistro, her sharp mind undimmed. Dr. Emily Warner curated a Moscow exhibit of Sophie's murals, a pilgrimage for artists. Harper Lane, retired in Sandpoint, sent Sophie a canvas, "Paint the World." Emily Carter, now Boise's mayor, declared a Brooks Bistro Day, honoring their journey. Mia Torres, a guest, smiled, her watch ended. In Boise, Captain Lisa Monroe, retired, found an old clipping. Lauren Mitchell, deceased in prison, a footnote in an archive. Jared Langley, last seen sweeping streets, had vanished from record, his name, dust. Monroe burned the clipping at her Boise hearth, texting Nathan, "Nothing remains. You won." Nathan, in Sandpoint, read it by the lake, the past ash. He hung Sophie's childhood watch, cracked from his crash, beside her mural, its ticks a heartbeat of triumph. Sophie faced a storm. A Vancouver rival leaked false claims about Eternal Flame's funding, sparking media frenzy. At a global press conference, Sophie, steel in her gaze, presented proof, turning the tide. Nathan, on call from Sandpoint, said, "You're my hero, kiddo." Sophie, her partner pendant shining, rallied her team, saving the initiative. At Moscow's alumni gala, she spoke, "Our flame burns through truth." The crowd, Ethan, Rachel, Warner, roared, Nathan beaming via video, pride his crown. Boise's winter solstice hosted a global Eternal Flame festival, Brooks's Bistro alight with stars. Sophie unveiled her mural, Eternal Flame, a family under a cosmic sky, Nathan and Sophie at its heart. Nathan, grilling beside her, passed the tongs forever, whispering, "It's yours." Sophie led a toast, to love, trust, and eternal flames. Ethan's daughter lit a lantern. Rachel wept. Carter cheered, and Warner hugged Lane. Monroe and Torres raised glasses, the community a constellation. Sophie hugged Nathan, whispering, "We're forever, Dad." Nathan kissed her forehead, the bistro's flame a vow against time, their saga sealed in Idaho's sky, Lauren's and Jared's shadows gone, an eternal light rising.